guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Kirsten and it's time for my monthly book haul. Now, I actually have a bit of disclaimer to make. All of these books, apart from one, was bought in October. So since my last video, which was about the 20th of October, to the end of October, I got all of these. Now that seems like a lot, but the majority of these were actually gifts. I won a book voucher and I went to town with it because I got so many books with it. It was amazing. But only one of these I actually bought in November. Since the 1st of November, I've been on a book buying ban because it's just been like, I have over 50 unread books. Like, it's mad. I'm still going to very much be getting books when I get gift cards or things like that I'm perfectly happy with, but I just personally don't need to spend any of my money on books anymore, apart from the pre-orders that I have. Now, as of the date that I'm filming this, I am waiting on a few pre-orders for November, but they will just be put into my December book haul because I have enough to be getting through. Now, the only book that I bought in November, which was actually on the 1st of November, is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but the edition by the House of Minalima. I'm going to put the name up. I cannot pronounce it. And I saw this and I just had to have it. I love their books. I haven't got any of their other special editions that they've done for things like The Little Mermaid, Alice in Wonderland, but after seeing this and looking through it, I definitely want to get them because they are the most stunning books I've ever seen. Now, this was expensive, I won't lie, which is why it's the only book that I've bought myself for this month, and it's just beautiful. It is filled with artwork and pages where you can pull things out, and it's just absolutely stunning. Now, I'll be honest, this is not a book that I'm actually going to spend my time reading. This is definitely a collectible for me, and is something that I'm so hesitant because it's so beautiful. There's so many tiny little parts to this book that I would be absolutely terrified of damaging it, and with everything that J.K. Rowling has done, I am in no ways supporting her and what she has done and been saying, but Harry Potter is a story that I grew up with. I was the age that they were as they were growing up, and I related so much to them, and it's a series that will always be forever a part of me. And so when I saw this, I had to have it. Now, I have said that I'm not buying any Harry Potter books brand new because I don't want to be supporting her, but this is one that I couldn't not have it, and the illustrators that worked on the films and everything they've done, I wanted to support them because they have done an amazing job. So yes, this is one that I am very, very happy to have and is absolutely stunning. So apart from that one book, all these other books are books that I've got in October. Holy Sister is a book that I'm currently listening to on audiobook, but it is a book I picked up with the voucher that I got given to me, and it's the third book in the Book of the Ancestor trilogy, and it's a series that I really enjoy. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really like Mark Lawrence's other works. I have tried a couple of them, but it's not really my kind of thing. But in this one, we're following our main character, Nona, as she is originally about to be executed but gets saved by a nun and taken to a convent. Now, she is a child that has so much anger within her for the way that she has been treated and all the harsh realities of life that she's living. She is angry with it all and feels that all of it is wrong and shouldn't be this way, and you see her grow up over the course of the trilogy. There is a really good magic system in here where it's very grounded in reality, so it's actually quite believable, and I really like it. There's also politics and religion involved, as well as a ice age that's happening that is threatening the whole world and their existence, and it's just a really interesting, intricate fantasy story, and so far I'm really enjoying the third book. Then I went and got the complete set of the Malice books by John Gwynne. Now, I originally already had Malice, the first book by John Gwynne, and I read it last month in October maybe, I'm not sure, and I really loved it. It was a book recommended to me by my sister, and we're following a few different main characters as there is this god war going on. Basically, it's good versus evil, and we have men and giants and different beasts involved, and there's this big conflict going on, and it's going to be an amazing epic fantasy series. I already know I'm going to enjoy the rest of the books. So when I saw this on Amazon for I think the whole series was like £20. I was like, I'm gonna save so much money by doing this rather than getting the books all individually. So I decided to get it, even though it means I now have 2 copies of Malice. That's not really a problem. I can give one to a charity shop. I just couldn't pass this up. Plus it was again used with my voucher, so I didn't actually pay for this. But if you do like epic adult fantasy, I do suggest this series. It's a really good one and it's very intricate. We have a lot of politics involved. It's obviously a bit religious because we have the whole God War, and there is past magic that's referenced to. It's kind of died out now, or so people believe. So there's all of that that's going on. There's a lot of loss in this book, and I know it's going to be a heartbreaking series to read, but it's one that's so well done. And although it is slow because we're getting the build up of our characters and we're just getting to know them, I personally don't mind that, especially in adult fantasy, because you need that attachment to the characters to actually care about what's happening in the books. It's just amazing. I also love the world building in this. Sometimes with adult fantasy it can be a bit too heavy on the world building, a bit too dense to get through, but I didn't find that at all. I thought this was really, really well done, and yeah, I have nothing but praise for this book, and I think it's going to be an amazing series. That's why I had to get all of them. Then this is one of the books that I did buy, but I actually got it on sale for £2.60, which I was so happy with, and that's Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is a book I'm really wanting to read. I've never read any of Robin Hobb's books, and that's definitely something I want to correct because she is meant to be a really good fantasy author, and this does seem like the sort of thing that I'd be into. We are following Fitz, who is a bastard-born son of the Crown Prince, but he is not wanted and so is instead used to become an assassin because he has a unique position with being royalty and not. So they're using that, and we're just following Fitz as he grows up. Now, I've seen a lot of reviews on this book because Becca from Becca and the Books has been doing a catch-up book club with this series and the rest of Robin Hobb's books, and they have said it is really slow, that the start of these books are slow to get into. But again, as I said about Malice, I personally don't mind that at all because I like slower starts, especially in my adult fantasy. Name of the Wind is a ridiculously slow book, and it's one of my favourite books I've ever read. So I'm really excited to give this one a try. I'm really hoping I get that attachment to Fitz as a character and really enjoy seeing him grow and mature as he goes through the books. So I'm excited to give it a try. Then we have a book that I got with my gift card again, and that's City of Bones by V.E. Schwab. Now, V.E. Schwab is an auto by author for me. I've enjoyed all of her books. I have yet to find a 5-star book of hers, although I'm hoping Addie LaRue will be that book. I'm going to be reading that soon. This is her young adult / middle grade series, and I haven't read any of those books. She's got this one and also an Angel one that I haven't read, and I thought, you know what, I want to give them a try. I really love the covers of this, and I know a lot of people have said that they really like this series, and I think there's a 3rd book that's coming out either later this year or the beginning of next year. So I thought, you know what, I've got this voucher, let me give it a try. Young end of young adult / middle grade is not really my kind of thing. There's very select ones that I'll read, and that's ones that I've enjoyed from my childhood. So things like Lemony Snicket and Harry Potter, those sort of books are books I will read because they are what I read in my childhood, and so I like them for that. But reading them now, I find I'm not always as interested in the books. So this is one that I'm a little bit worried that I won't enjoy that much, but I do like V.E. Schwab's writing, so I'm hoping that that will overshadow it and that I will enjoy this. But as I said, I've never had a 5-star read from her. She's generally around the 4-star mark. A couple have been 3 stars, but overall her books are always 4 stars, and they're books I do recommend, especially if you're just getting into fantasy, because I think she does a good job. So I'm hoping that this will be a kind of cute read that's got a little bit of fantasy elements to it, but not too much. Just something that will be a nice, cute, warming read. But I guess we'll find out. All I know from this is that we're following our main character, and her parents are, I want to say ghost hunters or something like that, but she can actually see ghosts. I'm not quite sure. I think they end up in Edinburgh chasing a story about ghosts, and something happens from there, and I don't know, it's meant to be good, so I'm willing to give this a try. I trust V.E. Schwab, so I reckon it should be an enjoyable one. Then with my gift card, I also got Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan, and this is a book that I've been really interested in picking up. I'm mainly interested because so many people have quoted it as it's what happened with Darklyn and Elena if she had stayed with Darklyn and not gone with Mal, which sounds perfect to me because that's what I wanted to happen in Shadow and Bone. I just did not want the whole Mal situation, like, no thank you. This is supposed to be chock full of morally grey characters. There's supposed to be religious elements into this. I don't know more than that, and I don't want to know more than that. I know this book has had some mixed reviews, but I'm quite happy to reserve opinion until I've actually read this, and honestly I think it's going to be a good one to read, and it just seems right up my alley because I really do like morally grey characters. I love a story where there's some political and religious tension, so I think this is going to be a good one for me. And again, with my voucher, I got Daughter of a Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. Now, I read Shadows Between Us earlier this year and absolutely loved it. I read it in one sitting. It was absolutely fantastic. Again, another beautiful morally grey character, a really good story to it. I just ate it up. So after finishing that book, I knew that I wanted to read more by Tricia Levenseller, and this was her debut novel, so I want to give this a try. Again, mixed signals on this one. Some people really don't like it and some people love it. It's a pirate story, so I don't know, I haven't really read too many of them, but I'm willing to give this a try because I really did enjoy Shadows Between Us. I thought it was an excellent book, and I'm hoping I get more of that fiery main character that's a little bit reckless, doesn't really care what other people think, and is just happy to go for it. So fingers crossed that's what I get in this. I'm super excited for it, so let's see if it's as good as Shadows Between Us, because if it is, then Tricia Levenseller is automatically going to be an auto-buy author for me because I just loved it so much. And then another book that I did buy, but again got it on sale, was The Butterfly Garden by Dr. Hutchinson. This is a book that I got based on the recommendation of Christina from Christina Campbell Books, which I will have linked below, and she really liked this. She thought it was a really interesting thriller. I have said before and will continue to say that I do trust Christina in the murder mystery slash thriller genre. It's what she reads a lot of, and every single time that she's had a recommendation for a book that she's enjoyed, I've already wanted to pick it up because I've enjoyed her explanations of it so much and she's really enjoyed it. Now, this one is, we're following a girl that escaped from a man who basically kidnaps these girls, tattoos butterfly wings onto their backs, each one being different, and he's basically just a serial killer. Apparently, it's quite an unreliable narrator, which is very interesting to me, and again, this is not a genre I read a lot of. I used to read way more of it, but I haven't for many years, so I want to give this a try and get back into this genre, and I've been reading a couple across like the last couple of months and I have enjoyed them, but this one just sounds really intriguing and yet unsettling at the exact same time. So when I saw it on sale, I was like, you know what, I have to give this a try and let's see if I like it. And another book I got with my voucher, like I said, I won quite a big voucher this month, and that's Night of the Dragon by Julie Kagawa. This is book 3 in her trilogy that started with Shadow of the Fox, and I've loved this trilogy so much. It's full of Japanese mythology. We are following our main character Yumeko, who is a kitsune fox, and she has been tasked with bringing a piece of the dragon scroll to a sacred temple. Now, to do this, she enlists the help of a cage samurai who believes that he's helping her get to this temple so he can get the scroll without realizing that she's had it on her the whole time. It's a really fun story. Yumeko is a brilliant, naive, funny main character. I really love her, and the cage samurai is basically a tortured soul, and I just fell in love with him. And we also have this little band that eventually gets together as we follow them across Shadow of the Fox throughout that book, and I love them. The second book, Soul of the Sword, was just brilliant and heartbreaking. There is a love story in there that is the best love story I've ever read. I absolutely just fell in love with it. It was so beautifully done, so unexpected, but so well done. And it's not even a love story, and yet I was just... it's amazing, it's beautiful, and I cannot wait to see what happens in Night of the Dragon. I expect this to be a 5-star read. Soul of the Sword was 5 stars, and I can't wait. I think Julie Kagawa has done an amazing job of putting all these mythology elements together, and it's so good. Another book I got with my voucher is Bunny by Mona Awad. This is a book that I'm really on the fence about and slightly worried to read because it's a dark academia book. Now, I like the concept of dark academia. I think it's very interesting. However, I read The Furies recently and didn't like elements of that book because I am not a fan of bullying. I think it's unnecessary, I don't like it at all, and that's probably because of being bullied in the past myself and seeing other people go through that. Is just something I really don't like. So when I'm reading about it, it's not something I care for. I'm really hoping that there isn't that aspect in this, and if there isn't, I think this is going to be a really good book. It's supposed to be a bit weird, a bit strange. I don't mind that at all. I like weird and strange books. I just really do not want any bullying, because I just think it's an unnecessary. I mean, life is harsh enough as it is without having it chucked in a book about bullying. It's just not my thing. So as long as it doesn't have that, it's gonna be good. But again, I've had mixed reviews, and that's because it's such a weird book. Like, at the end of it, so many people are left feeling like, oh, what did I just read? And I'm interested to see why it's like that. So I have cautious hopes about this book. Then I have a pre-order that actually came out at the end of October, but that was after my October haul, and that's Camilla by Sheridan. I think I'm pronouncing that correct, I'm sorry if I'm not. And this is a classic horror story, and this is the vampire book that came out before Dracula, and when I realized that, I had to have it. Plus, this edition is absolutely gorgeous. I love this cover. So it's a vampire story. I don't really need to say much else than that. I love vampires, I think they're amazing. I also am trying to read more classics because I really want to know where our originals came from. I think that they're so important to read, and shocking for the time that it's written, but this is a female romance story as well, which is so shocking for the time. I was not expecting that. So I have high hopes about this book. I think it's going to be so atmospheric, and I'm just, oh, I can't wait to read it. So yeah, I'm excited to see that, because apparently this is also what inspired Dracula, so I need to read this. And the last and final book I got with my voucher is Harleen. Again, I can't pronounce this author's name. I really don't want to butcher it. I think it's pronounced Stjepan, Sejic. I apologise, I'm so sorry. But this is an amazing graphic novel. This is a bind up of the 3 volumes of Harleen. That's all that's out at the moment. I don't know if there's going to be any more, but oh, I loved this. I read it recently and devoured it in one sitting. It's got amazing artwork throughout it. I think it's so well done that I love it so much. The artwork really added to this for me, and of course it is the backstory to Dr. Quinzel and who she was before she became Harley Quinn and how she became Harley Quinn. I thought it was really well done. I liked seeing the manipulation and how it was done by the Joker. I thought it was so clever, and yeah, it was a really enjoyable read, which probably isn't the right words to be using when you're talking about Harley Quinn and the Joker, because their relationship or whatever it was between them is one that is not good at all. But I did enjoy the take on the backstory and actually looking into it and how she became Harley Quinn. I thought that was really well done. So yeah, really enjoyed this one as well. So that's my November but not November book haul for the month. Like I said, a lot of these books I didn't even pay for, so I'm very lucky in that regard and ever grateful for the vouchers that I got given this month, because it has meant that I got some brilliant books that I never thought I'd be able to get hold of yet, so very grateful for that. But do let me know, what's a book that you've got recently that you're excited to read, or a special edition book that you absolutely love. And as always, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All my social media links to my Instagram, Goodreads and Twitter will be linked below, and I will catch you in the next one.